know scrolling is bad, but you cannot stop. You cannot stop looking at memes, looking at Insta baddies, looking at people from high school that you don't care about. But no matter what you do, every single day you find yourself scrolling, and scrolling. No matter what you do, you have a screen time of 6 hours at the minimum on a low day, and you simply cannot get this lower, even though you know that social media is ruining your health, and you're one of those people that tells people that social media is bad for all of us, but you can't get off of it. You've already probably gotten 4 to 5 notifications on your phone as you watch this video already, and you wonder why you're so unfocused and unproductive. So just to give you guys a little bit of a recap, I also, like you guys, had a pretty strong phone addiction. I would do the same thing. I would literally wake up every single day and check my phone for literally 20 to 30 minutes. No matter what I did, it was an addiction. I would just always wake up and reach for my phone. I would just scroll before even getting out of bed to brush my teeth or to make my bed. Throughout the day, I would, like you guys, I would just pick up the phone when I was working and just randomly scroll and interact with posts like memes, looking at people from high school. The Insta baddies, just like you guys, down really bad. But I went through all of the same stuff, but I honestly just changed one major thing. Obviously, I'll give some other few tips as well, but I honestly made one major shift that has gotten my screen time to less than 2 hours a day. To get it to less than 2 hours a day, the single tip that I would give any of you guys is to win the morning. Winning the morning simply means that you do not check your phone first thing when you wake up, because research specifically shows that our brains are most impressionable in the morning. What this means is that whatever our mind and our brain is exposed to, this carries on throughout the day. So if you expose yourself or you are impressionable to a bad habit in the day, this carries on throughout the rest of the day. And what this happens is that when you do this for one day, it repeats to the next and the next and the next. The reason that you have a phone addiction is because it starts with your morning time. When you first wake up, do not check your phone. You must resist that initial urge. And what happens is that if you can resist this initial urge for when you first wake up, but ideally the first 2 hours of the day, if you cannot check your phone, this habit will carry on throughout the rest of the day. After these first 2 hours, and you do this consistently, you do not have to think about it as much anymore. It's just this initial part when you wake up. For the first hour to 2 hours, if you cannot check your phone, this will carry on throughout the rest of the day. And what did I say before? If this carries on the rest of the day, you're more likely to repeat this the day after and the day after and the day after. But it starts with the morning. Instead, when you wake up, get out of bed immediately, brush your teeth, make your bed, go down, eat breakfast, or do whatever you have to do, but get your day started immediately. Get it started and get ready for the first hour to 2 hours of the day, because when that's over, you've accomplished so many things. You've gotten out of bed, you've brushed your teeth, you've gotten ready, you've made your bed, you've meditated, and you've already eaten. That's win after win after win. You've already set your day up for success, that your brain is now like, let's keep going. We have momentum on our side. Momentum is what you need in the morning. Most people are sluggish and take the morning slow and take it easy. I'm not saying to be David Goggins out here, but I am saying that you do need momentum. Momentum, once you have just these small wins, when it comes down to sitting and doing the hard work, you've already had 3, 4, 5 small wins that you stacked up, that you're more likely to do that when you sit down to do work. However, if you get up sluggish, you check your phone, you do everything when you feel like it, that sluggishness carries on to the hard tasks. And the hard tasks is when you need motivation. It's when you need that extra oomph, if you know what I mean, to do that hard work. So you must win the morning. Keep that phone away at the minimum. If you're really addicted, just the first 30 minutes, but ideally you should get the first 2 hours of the day without a phone at all. So just bang out an hour or two of hard work as soon as you get up in the morning, and I promise the rest of the day will become so much easier. You won't even think about using your phone as much because you've set up your day for success. And this single tip alone has dropped my screen time from 4.5 to 5 hours to honestly 2.5. Like, it literally just dropped it in half. And if you guys are at like 10 hours right now, think about how good your mental health would be if you dropped your phone time from 10 hours to 5 hours. You're going to be so much more happy, so much more less anxious, and so much less depressed, because there's nothing really good about social media and our phones to begin with. The second tip that I definitely suggest that you guys do that also helped me cut down my screen time even more, this I would say helped me drop it by like 30 minutes, but keeping your phone on DND And keeping your phone on airplane mode significantly helps as well, because naturally our phones and our laptops all have notifications on them, that when you put these DNDs on, or you put flight mode on, it stops from these notifications coming. And obviously when a notification comes, you're much more likely to pick up the phone and to actually see what you're doing. So if your ringer is on or you have DND not on, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. And it's so much easier to not get distracted when distractions are not coming in. So I highly suggest that when working on your laptop, or if you have to work on your phone for whatever reason it is, make sure that DND is not on, and just make sure that the ringer is not on, because when you hear a notification come on, you're so much more likely, because we're desperate at this point, to pick up the phone to see who just texted us or called us. So highly recommend that when working, put the phone on DND or on flight mode so no notifications can come on at all. The third tip that also really significantly helped me drop my screen time and my phone time overall is by having the screen time widget actually on the home screen. I'll put a picture of what this kind of looks like on my home screen, but you can do this through the settings, where I think if you literally click on screen time, you can add it to home screen, or it's in one of the widget sections, you can add it to the home screen. By doing this, when you literally open the phone, the first thing that you see right there is your screen time. Think about how much more likely you are to not engage in scrolling if you literally see that you're already at 5 hours of screen time. The reason why we scroll so much is because we don't really know how much we're scrolling. And when it's right there, right in front of you, you're so much more likely to not engage in that bad habit. If, for example, you had to weigh yourself every time before you were to eat like a bag of chips or some cookies, would you still eat those cookies? No. The reason you still eat those cookies is because you don't have a measurement right there in front of you. Whereas for your phone, if you put this measurement right in front of you to say to not do this thing, you're so much more likely to not engage in it. And after a while, it honestly becomes more of a game. Like if you're at 2 hours of screen time and you check your phone and you're like, whoa, I gotta cut it down. Not only does it stop you right there, but then in the future it becomes a game. Okay, I was at 2 hours at this time yesterday. Let me try to get it down a little bit more today. So it just becomes more, honestly, it becomes honestly kind of fun after a little while of not scrolling so much, that it becomes a game to see, let me see if I can get it less and less and less. And when it's right there in front of you to tell you, now you actually have a measurement to say, okay, I was at this before, now I have some benchmark to say I need to get down a little bit more today. I strongly suggest having the screen time widget on your home screen. And honestly, the very last tip I have for you guys to just get off your phone and to end your social media or phone addiction is to honestly just stay consistent. This is something that takes a little while. You guys have been addicted to your phone for years, so you have to realize that it's going to take a little while to suddenly like give up hours worth of screen time. It's going to be hard in the beginning, but just know that any good habit takes a little time to actually complete. So just know that staying consistent will significantly help you, and I promise that if you just do this for 2 weeks, you will notice a massive drop in your screen time, as well as just an overall improvement in your mental health. You will realize by dropping your screen time in half, you'll be so much more happier, so much more present, so much more fulfilled, that you're going to want to keep doing this in the future. So I strongly suggest really put an emphasis on doing this for the first 2 weeks. I promise it gets a lot easier, but just know that good habits take a little while to get accustomed to and to do this every day. But just know that when you do this, it'll become a lot easier, and you'll be so much more happy that you did in the future. But anyways, that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys got some value. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.